Blake Sloan coming up in mere seconds. In the meantime, though, I want to let you know that you can get in touch with Blake Sloan whenever you like. Call him at Sloan Realty Group at his office in Myrtle Beach at 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or you can go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. We'll repeat that contact information a lot in the next 30 minutes. A lot of stuff to get to, so let's get started.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Got awesome stuff. I'm already hyped up, as you can tell, on the weekend. Our team is in the office grinding all weekend, making sure that we're putting deals together. So tons of great information today. We have the brand new micro market numbers for anyone that obviously likes that part. That's one of the biggest pieces of feedback I get is like, what's my zip code doing? What's my neighborhood doing? We'll dig in and look, and it's crazy. I mean, there's some huge jumps, some declines, some stuff we knew was going to be there. But the big story we're running into is just inventory still. We'll talk about that as well. And really kind of get into a strategy that we've been able to develop to make sure we can add an extra $10,000 to $15,000 to your bottom line as a seller by creating an auction effect. We're seeing, obviously, there's a high demand right now, low inventory. What you're seeing is some people are screwing up. They're taking it active on the wrong day. There's not a strategy. And so we'll talk about that in the show of how we've created this system that creates more of an auction effect to drive massive buyers and, in essence, to try to generate multiple offers to drive their price up. If you're a home seller, obviously that if you hire us, that's what we're hired to do. And so that's something that we'll talk about that's working very, very, very well for us. This is the 53rd straight COVID Corona edition since all this craziness has happened. We've seen ups, downs, all kind of stuff. So we'll dig into how that's affecting everything, how Myrtle Beach is performing versus everyone else, which is super, super interesting. The mortgage world been up for 8 straight weeks. We had some good news come this week, but also on top of that, after next week, some new rules kind of going to kick in place that will harm some second home borrowers out there. We'll talk about what that is if you missed last week's show. And again, we'll talk about how we're getting some home sellers up $20,000, $40,000 more for their home than they even thought they could get. We're talking to some sellers who listen to the show or who kind of been in touch with. We talked to a year ago, and they need X amount. We're calling them back and saying, hey, look, we can get you X amount plus more right now. And they're eating that up. And so that's something if you've been listening to for a while. Reach out. We'll kind of tell you about that. An aspect. And again, some amazing success stories. Our team has been crushing it. One of the biggest months we've ever had last month. We're continuing that this month. So the spring market's here. We'll talk about that in the show today as well.
All right, a lot of stuff to get to. Like you said, things are really moving right now. You don't want to miss out on anything. And if you just got tuned in for the very first time and you've never heard the show before, Blake Sloan, you're asking, who is this guy who's been called the real estate whiz kid? He's been featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, Realtor magazine, and other national publications. Maybe you've seen him on TV, on NBC, and also with Fox and Friends, the morning show. Personal endorsements you've heard on this very radio station from Sean Hannity, from Glenn Beck, from Barbara Corcoran, Gary LeVox. Put them all together, it's unprecedented. Now, in addition to that, every week, Blake talks a little bit about his trademark systems that help both home sellers and home buyers. Can't give you all the secrets here because they are trademarked, but he's more than happy to tell you the most important part of those systems.
Yes, and this became like, years ago, and this for like 10 years, that this became like my why, why we do this show and really kind of the thing behind it. And that was when the market was just kind of normal. Right now, the market's crazier than I've seen, in a long time since my career. I've been at 15 years in regards to what we're seeing. And so the stakes could not be higher than they are right now for your home and your home equity in regards to how you handle it, how you execute, and do you make money? And you could probably put a sign on your yard, probably sell it yourself. But the difference is, are you going to get max amount of money for your house? And that's the question you need to ask, because we're seeing some people right now call sellers $10,000, $15,000 by not having a process to maximize the equity in right now the current market. And so here's the deal. This is kind of the piece that is important. I made a promise that I would talk about every show years ago because there's such a big difference. Happened this past week. Somebody called the office and we had a discussion and they're like, hey, I want this, part-time smaller agent in a small market who can help me. And for some reason, people in Pawleys Island are notorious for this. They think you got to be in the little neighborhood in Pawleys Island and be the very specific agent who lives in their neighborhood. The problem is, here's the deal. People with millions of dollars live in Connecticut that buy cash. They don't necessarily know about your neighborhood in Pawleys Island. They know about Myrtle Beach. And that's a true story. I sold one of the largest homes in Pawleys Island, over $2 million cash. Guess what? The buyers from Connecticut hadn't really heard of Pawleys Island before until we showed them that. And he came through our Google advertising for guess where? Myrtle Beach. And so here's the deal. The single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller comes down to one thing only. And that thing is the agent you choose, period. Everyone makes this huge mistake of thinking that agents are the same, or they have some crazy story where I want this certain person who does this. And the reality is you need exposure. You need someone who can execute. Because the problem with most agents is everyone tends to operate the same way. And the thing is, you have one agent trying to juggle all these balls, because when you sell a house, there's 118 different variables from A to Z. If each one's handled correctly, guess what it does? Puts money in your pocket, property gets sold. Anything's handled incorrectly, that costs you your hard equity, right? And pretty much money that could be in your pocket. And that could be anything from, do they even answer the telephone? How fast does it take them to respond to a web lead? What are the quality of the photos? What's the order of the photos and how they post them online? At what day do they make your listing active right now? All these things are variables that make or break your equity on the back end. And so what we found is 118 variables is too much for one single agent to manage on multiple listings. And so what they tend to do is they just do the 3 Ps. They promise the world to get the listing. 2, they put it into the MLS. And 3, they pray that someone else brings a buyer. Meanwhile, they're on the street trying to get your neighbor's listing so they can survive in this business. And so years ago, I said, hey, look, there's got to be a better way. Create a system that's proven repeatable. I looked at what people did outside of real estate, and I modeled that and brought that in real estate. What if we could operate like a real business and have real people who manage certain aspects of it? We took time, we laid out every single variable. That's how we know it was 118. And then we created a system, reverse engineered it step by step to create maximum leverage for our clients. So when you add all those up, what it does is it creates a competitive advantage in the marketplace. And so that system I designed is called the Guaranteed Sold System. The only proven system sells twice as fast and for up to 20% more money than traditional methods. And it works very, very, very well. I designed it. It's exclusive to us. And we do license to other agents, other parts of the country. There's some people who try to copy or duplicate it, but they don't know the why behind each piece, and they have not been able to do so. And so the reality is you need a system. Not getting anything done efficiently. That's like having
Partner with the agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Coming up in just 1 minute, we'll find out what the rates are looking like, and they have been going up recently, so you need to act quickly, that's for sure. But right now, let's find out what the market's looking like. I know you got some new numbers to share with us.
It's insane, right? Absolute chaos, craziness, but it's fun. I'm telling you, it's been unbelievable. Like we're selling stuff within minutes. We got the strategies where we're launching at certain times of the week, and we drive this auction effect. We'll talk about in a second, but it's been insane. And so, really quick for anyone that missed last week's show, I'll do a quick recap for the overall macro market, which is what's the whole Grand Strand doing as a whole. The Grand Strand market sales up last month up 23% for single family homes, which is amazing, right? Very consistent. Been doing that for a while. 470 homes sold last month, which is great. If you look into price up 15.8% for median price last month, which is 285,000, which is great. Average sale price though, huge, up 22.1% at $363,317. Crazy numbers. I haven't seen that really my entire career since January 2005. And so that whole thing is equity's up. People are getting a lot more for their house than they thought they could. We shared a success story last week. We got somebody $40,000 more they thought they'd get for their house. And that's just one of the many examples. So that's great news. Now, here's what's kind of driving a lot of that. Here's the most shocking numbers, right, is inventory. Inventory, we're scraping all-time lows. The inventory for homes for sale is down 65.9%. Huge jump. And so that makes your house more valuable than usual. Why is that? Well, we know everything's supply and demand. So demand's up over 20%, supply's down 65.9%. Guess what it does to price? The pressure there is on price, which is what's driving it up, which is why it's important to take advantage of that. And so you add in a sprinkle in the spring market coming in, everyone's been cooped up, flowers are blooming, right? Everyone's wanting to get the house, and we're seeing that happen right now. People are coming down. Now, here's what's also happening. This past week, we have multiple times we have a huge client base in the Northeast, obviously, and the snow has finally been melting. The houses are looking good. They're putting their house in the market. They're selling theirs, and guess where they're moving? Down here to Myrtle Beach. And so expect that extra surge coming in this next few weeks, which is great news there as well. Now, here's what we've been tracking too, is showings per listing, which is buyer traffic. How many buyers are looking at properties right now? That traffic last month was up 78.8%. 78.8% buyer traffic last month alone was up, which is huge. That means 78.8% more buyers are looking inside of listings. It tracks literally how many showings total, and those showings up 78.8%, which is great news overall in that aspect. Even to new construction sales up 8% last month. They're just trying to basically they sell as fast as they can build it, as we all know. Into condos, into resale condos, those numbers are huge, surging as well. 22.8% increase in condo sales last month. And we're seeing a lot of people, like I mentioned in previous weeks, they were searching for single family homes last year. All of a sudden, the properties they want in their price range are no longer available. So now they're switching to townhouses and condos. And so that market is now going up, and you're seeing the same thing happen there that happened to houses about 5-6 months ago. Into average sale price for condos up 13.2% at $179,000, which is awesome. Median price also up 11.1% at $150,000. Inventory, guess what? Same exact thing there. Inventory crisis in condos right now. If you look at the line graph, it's like a cliff. Literally just drops off. 2.7 months inventory at 44.9% decrease in inventory. If you look at just last year in April, there's 5.9 months. Right now, 2.7. And so that just goes to show you there's just less available because people are scooping up like crazy in that overall aspect. And so you add to that some people not wanting to show their house or sell it during COVID, right? And so that just kind of limits that more, which is creating that perfect storm, because on top of all that, you're seeing a mass migration from up north where they're in these metropolitan areas. People are trying to escape that crowdedness, and they're looking to where they can work remotely now. And guess what? The number one driving destination is for everybody on the East Coast, Myrtle Beach, right? And so that's huge for us in our market. We've been tapped into that very well. So that's the overall market piece for the overall macro market. I'm going to dig in and jump through the micro market really quick. This is like, what's my zip code doing? What's my neighborhood doing? Everyone kind of asks this a lot. So bear with me. This is what I get most feedback on, because everyone wants to know what's happening. So Myrtle Beach right now, 29572, 29577. Sales up last month 41.3%. From 63 to 89, which is huge. Prices last month for median price up 10.5%. Right now in those zip codes, 369,000, which is awesome. Year to date, they're up 12.8%, which is great news there overall. And of course, inventory for homes for sale is down 59.0% in Myrtle Beach. Condo sales in the city there up 26.8%, which is great news. Median price of 21.7% at 139,998. So great news. And also, as we know, inventory in Myrtle Beach in the city down 19.6% overall. North Myrtle Beach doing very well. Closed sales year to date up 18.1%. Last month was pretty flat, went from 43 to 39. But the great news is, and that's again an inventory challenge because that zip code is a little bit smaller in terms of houses for sale. But price is up 24.8%, which is awesome, from 360 right now to 450. So if you're talking about median price in North Myrtle Beach is 450,000, which is something I thought I'd see, and this year at least. The whole inventory also down 55.9%. Last year there's 320 homes for sale. Right now there's 141 in all of 29582 zip code, which is huge. Socastee closed sales pretty much flat from 78 to 70. The prices though up 7.5% last month, 237. They're up 16.1% year to date. The one thing that's hindering the sales there is also inventory down 53.4%. And so that's just something in Socastee area. Carolina Forest sales up huge. That's one of the fastest growing areas right now on the Grand Strand. You're seeing that happen. There's a lot of new inventory as well. Sales up 46.2% last month alone. It's up 41.6% year to date. Median price pretty flat. It's at 298,000, up 1% from 295. Great news there. And here's the big shocking thing for everyone is inventory. One of the biggest drops in inventory, down 60.9% in Carolina Forest. So last year, and this time, there's 394 houses for sale. Right now, there's only 154. And you add on top of that 20% increase in sales, you can see where the problem lies, right? Into Conway. Conway sales up 14.5% last month alone, which is awesome. Median sales price up 12.9%, which is amazing. And here's the other thing, inventory down 40.2% in Conway. That's the pattern you're going to see here, right? Closed sales in Loris and Longs up 10.5% year to date. Last month was flat, just actually down 11.5% from 52 to 46. Median sales price for Loris and Longs up 17.4% last month. Inventory also the challenge there, down 28.4%. Aner sales up 20%, which is great. Median price up 10%, 210 to 231,000, which is awesome news in that aspect. And then Garden City and Myrtle's Inlet closed sales. That's a hot area too right now, especially along the ocean and the inlets and stuff. Closed sales up 33% last month alone, 14.5% year to date. Median price up 26.5% last month from 249,700 last year to 315,950 right now. Awesome news there. And one of the biggest struggles we're seeing there to Garden City and Myrtle's Inlet, inventory down 54.9% overall. Pawleys Island Litchfield is rock and rolling as well. Sales up 36.1% last month. Median price up 17.1% at 380,000, which is awesome. And inventory down 43.9% overall. Interesting there. It's interesting to see Pawleys Island Litchfield obviously been a very high in area for a long time. Interesting to see that North Myrtle Beach has a higher median sale price right now. So you're seeing some different areas that are hotter that people are searching in. But bottom line, we've been selling a lot there as well. Georgetown sales up 17.5% year to date. Last month, they were down 13%, but it's a smaller area with from 22 to 19. Prices, though, great news for prices in Georgetown, up 33.3% from 195 up to 260. And inventory, also the same problem, down 51.5%. So if you notice, they're averaging over 50% decrease in inventory all across the board. That's the big struggle we're having. We have massive amounts of buyers right now. One of the crazy stats we just heard, right now in Myrtle Beach and across the country, there's more real estate agents than there is houses for sale, which is crazy, right? To think about. Everyone in the world is getting to real estate right now. Every new agent. Here's the thing. There's times to be nice and maybe list with a brand new agent, someone you know, but do not risk your hard-earned equity in one of the hottest markets of all time with somebody who's not experienced in this, who can cost you a lot of money by one small mistake or one misjudgment or one mispricing or even the wrong photos at this point. And so make sure you want to know more about that. Anyone you come across that's thinking about selling, so you got to take advantage of the perfect storm right now. Inventory, all-time low. Prices up to all-time highs. And also, sales are up over 20%. And so it's a perfect time to strike in the spring market because we're seeing so many people who are put their house selling on hold up north who are finally moving down here. I expect a rockin' hot spring market, which is huge. One thing though that's kind of been the variable, interest rates, right? Craziness right now. So the last 8 weeks prior, we've had an increase in mortgage rates, which has been kind of crazy, right? And so that's just something that they said hasn't happened in over a decade. Thankfully, this past week, we got a little bit of relief on that. And so if you look at just like last week's show, so last week's show rate was 3.45. Right now, for a 30-year fixed rate, we're down to 3.31%, which is awesome. So if you look just like 4 weeks ago, it was 2.76. And so you're kind of seeing that whole thing continue to climb long term. A 15-year fixed rate right now, 2.78%, which is awesome. A 30-year FHA loan, 2.84%. A jumbo loan, 3.33% right now. And a 5-year adjust rate mortgage is 2.72%. And so the bottom line is money's still pretty cheap. Massive amounts of people are moving, refinancing, all that stuff. Make sure you have someone who can guide you to navigate this market with precision. There's just so much room for error right now in pricing strategy and how you negotiate appraisals. I mean, we see people trying to do it themselves. And here's the thing. You can take a classic Corvette, probably put it in the Walmart parking lot and sell it. Probably so, right? Get a lot of traffic there. But you're probably not going to get top dollar for that. If you take the same classic Corvette, put it every Corvette enthusiast magazine, every Corvette enthusiast website, every Corvette enthusiast group online, and you drive massive amounts of eyeballs to that Corvette, what happens to the Corvette when you sell it? It sells for more money. It's the same thing that we're doing right now for your houses to buyers who are literally buying it sight unseen virtually over the internet. And so make sure you have the right exposure. Don't cost yourself $10,000 to $15,000 to $20,000 by not having someone who can navigate that. We're more than happy to do so. Reach out, call me today though, 843-808-SOLD.
Absolutely, there's lots of money at stake. Don't handle it incorrectly and make that kind of mistake. Coming up in just 1 minute, we'll find some people who are success stories, and we'll also look at your hot buyer orders. That's all coming up in a minute. If you want to get in touch with Blake Sloan, very easy to do. Call him at his office at Sloan Realty Group, 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or you can go online as well to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com.
Hey, Myrtle Beach, it's Gary LaVox, lead singer of Rascal Flatts. When I'm moving on, won the award for ACM Song of the Year, instructing cordless folks who understand the challenge.
We're going to have about 4.5 minutes left.
Okay, cool.
Time to sell their home. If you're moving on, you want a real estate agent who will make selling your home easy and stress-free. An agent who's willing to let you out of the contract if you're not happy with their service. That's why at Myrtle Beach, I can tell you that Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group markets your home on a whole different level. Now listen, Blake is so confident in his ability to sell your home quickly and for more money that he guarantees to sell it or he'll buy it himself. If you're moving on, trust Blake to provide your family a stress-free home sale experience. Find Blake Sloan online at blakesloan.com or you can call him at 843-808-SOLD.
Coming up in just a second, we'll be checking in with some success stories. First of all, it's time for your hot buyers alert. Blake Sloan and his team working with a ridiculous amount of home buyers. They're looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area, but they need inventory. So if you've got a home anywhere in the range between $150,000 to $3.5 million, if you're even thinking of selling, contact Blake Sloan immediately and find out what your options are. 843-808-SOLD. There are thousands, tens of thousands of people on Blake Sloan's website right now looking for your home, maybe. 60,522 is the last number I saw, and those are active home buyers.
Yes, I mean, that's like we need inventory bad. If you look at the entire, like 60+ thousand buyers, right? Real people, username, password, account. Like right now on the site, we have Tracy from Myrtle's Inlet. I got Jenny from Whitestone, New York. I got Kim from El Paso, Texas. I got on here, I got Mount Laurel, New Jersey, Kutztown, PA, Jefferson, South Carolina, Bogart, Georgia, Annapolis, Maryland, from all over looking to buy here right now. We got 60,000+ buyers over here on that, and there's only 4,700 properties total in the entire MLS. A lot of that's rentals and commercial, everything else, and so you can see my problem. So anyone you know, right, we're able to drive up traffic, create an auction effect for the property, and get massive amounts of money. And so if you know anyone out there, friend, relative, aunt, uncle, like them, don't like them, have them call us. Say, look, you got to call Blake because he can get you max amount of dollar for your property right now. There is a strategy. We've been working on this for months, and it's working very, very well. Really quick success story. Don't get to that really quick. Richard and Karen recently decided they're going to move back to Pennsylvania. They found a perfect home up there. The problem is that they need to sell their property here for top dollar and quickly so they can obviously lock their property down up there. So thankfully, he's a radio listener to us. Big shout out to them. And we came in, designed a custom plan, launched a global marketing blitz, professional photos, virtual reality walkthrough. Within 48 hours, we drove 28 buyers through their home, got 6 offers. They accepted an offer of $15,000 above asking price. Now they can continue on and put max amount of dollars in their pocket. Again, that's due from our strategy we developed to auction affect your house, create maximum people going through there, drive the price up. In this scenario, we said 6 offers were $15,000 over asking price, which has been huge there as well. So really quick, also, Bob and Lisa, they're looking for a different lifestyle. They're actually moving from a single family home in Myrtle Beach to an oceanfront condo. The problem, same thing there. They need to be able to sell their current property, purchase a new one. We specialize in this. So we came in, we helped them find the perfect oceanfront condo, negotiated with those sellers for an acceptable offer contingent upon them selling their home. We simultaneously launched a global marketing blitz, professional photos, virtual reality walkthrough, got them multiple offers within 48 hours. They accepted an offer $5,000 above asking price. Now Bob and Lisa are able to continue on the purchase, knowing that their current home obviously maximum equity from that. Great story. How much time?
Just under 2 minutes.
Under 2 minutes. Okay, cool. That's one thing that I think we talked about too. I'm not sure if I had Mike on there last week or not, but that's another one we had. Amazing radio listener, moved back up to upstate New York. We got Mike $20,000 more than he thought he could get for his house just based on the data. And again, if he would have listed that himself, he would have cost himself $20,000. Now, on top of that, we create the same auction effect there, drive massive buyer. There's a way to do that through timing, the way the photos are done, to the way we have run an open house at the same time, and the way we do the multiple offer scenario to drive up price, create a bidding war. That's what we're supposed to do, right? We're hired by you in that aspect. And so that's just something that's very, very helpful for us with our clients. So if you want to know any more about that or be a part of our success stories, reach out 843-808. So like I mentioned earlier, I was fired up, that we have an example last week where someone called from the radio show, wanted to book an appointment. She couldn't book till Tuesday, called us Monday. She said, well, I want to go with a smaller, more local agent. Guess where they were at? Pawleys Island. I'm like, dude, I called her, try to reschedule. Like, look, we have a massive global reach. You don't want a small fish in a small pond. You want a big shark in the ocean that can drive massive traffic. Again, I personally sold $2+ million property in Pawleys Island to a cash buyer from Connecticut who did not even know where that area existed or even heard of Pawleys Island before. But guess what? We showed them. We generated our Google search off of Myrtle Beach real estate, and we drove that person there because we sell the entire Grand Strand. It works out perfect. Reach out 843-808 sold.
Yeah, whatever your situation is, the first call that you need to make and the last call that you need to make is to Blake Sloan and Sloan Realty Group. 843-808 sold. 843-808 sold. You can also go online to blakesloan.com. blakesloan.com. Blake, great show as always. We'll talk to you again.
Yes, sir. I'll be here.
All right, we'll see you next week for another edition of the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Selling your home doesn't have to be filled with drama or having to pay hidden fees. And your friend Sean Hannity here to tell you, as an active investor, I firmly believe in working with the smartest local agents who sell homes at high volume, prepare your home to create the most demand, but it does go on the market to sell for the highest price. And don't fill your life with drama while you wait for your home to sell. When I want to know what's happening, there's only one agent I call. I'm talking about Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Now, every single day, on average, he sells multiple homes and attracts new homes, which gets you early access to great homes before they hit the market. Now, he has so many buyers,